I've been trying to figure out how I can contribute, because I don't want to see this happening here anymore, because I've seen it, I've known about it for years. I've known about the extent of rape and violence and, you know, all the difficulties that people face, women and vulnerable young children, and people didn't really want to talk about it before. Like HIV and AIDS, which I'm so, as an HIV/AIDS activist, I'm so aware of stigma and silence. And there's another kind of stigma and silence about this violence, this epidemic of violence, a really sort of incredibly dysfunctional, weird thing that's happening here. And I think it's a time now that people are, you know, I know everyone's spoken about it many times before over the years, and then, you know, they sort of lose momentum. And I just want to be part of a movement that will help to just do something positive. I think in a way, you know, sometimes it just takes that amount of heinous crime for a sort of collision or collusion of media just to start for everybody to go, wow, hang on a minute, you know, actually we really do need to take this seriously. And sometimes there's a tipping point. So every time there's I mean, I'm here, so I can, you know, use the opportunity. And I'm just responding as a woman. I'm telling you that. I'm a woman, I'm a mother. I was a little girl once, and the thought of abusive rape, you know, it just kind of makes me go weird, just like it does everybody that hears about it. Without question, and I mean, it's understandable. This is not pointing a finger of blame and shame specifically to South Africa, not at all. I mean, what do you do in a country where you have all of these challenges and problems? You know, you can either live in a little glass bubble and just try to, you know, have your own nice life, and maybe occasionally you might come upon you might be the victim of crime, or you might know someone who was. But this is something, you know, really long term. You've got to sort of wake up to it. There are generations of young abusers that are being formed right now. You know, they're small children, and they will grow up to be abusers because they're being brought up in circumstances that will create that, and they are learning this total dysfunctional behavioural patterns. And there are organisations that have been doing great work and are still doing great work, and guess what? They're not being funded, they're being shut down. So I mean, there are lots of things that we can do to help support them. It's a positive message that I'm putting across. You know, it's not as if I'm not so idealistic that I think it's just going to end, but you make a start. You make a start, and that's all you can do. So you make a start and you commit and you see where it goes. I mean, when I first started to speak up about HIV and AIDS in my own capacity as a campaigner, you know, there were so many thousands of people dying, and I travelled around the country. I went to the Eastern Cape. I saw the places where children's coffins were on supermarket shelves here, and it's improved. The death rate through HIV and AIDS has come down. There's no question about that. You don't see the same amount of people, you know, so evidently sick, but still that's not over with, and we still have much to do. So it's never over, but you have to behave as if it is, to have a goal in mind. I'll always be a musician, I'll always be a singer, but I just, at the moment, really, you can see that the direct effort of my heart, it comes through to activism, because I just feel I've been so, it's not religiously blessed, but I've just been so fortunate. My own background, my own sort of history in my family comes from poverty. And you know, it's only because of social change that I've been given an education and being given so many privileges. And they're privileges, they're not just things that everybody has. Coming here, you can see the contradiction between those that have and those that don't. In your face every single day, you can't get away from it. So, you know, if you're a person with a conscience and you're living here, then you know what? It's like an ointment to get involved. It's like, it kind of bathes the pain. I feel the pain walking around these streets when I see, you know, young children sleeping in doorways, everything. I see it. And I need to, you know, personally to be an activist. That's what activism means.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.